Morning.
Morning. We've had some parcels delivered today. Who don't like a good parcel, especially when they're from Devon 4x4. So we're going to get these unboxed, see what we've got. Nellie's helping us today. Everybody loves a good box, don't they? Took that over there, sorry now. Oh. Come and have a look. That is a very nice, shiny new Devon 4x4 winch bumper. D44 high rise. That is soon to be stuck on front of there. There's no wrong with this bumper at all. Does its job, does everything you need. But with this truck, what we're doing with it, I think it'll be a bit more in keeping. It'll give us a bit more clearance under the front end, and should look good. So we'll get it fitted. We've also got this as well. Where's my knife gone? Like Christmas, isn't it? There's only one parcel better than a D44 parcel, and that's an alive parcel. Towing knife at back end. That's for another day. Pretty, isn't it, that? And we've also got in here, I think I know what this is. If I can get into it. Looks like a box full of wires, and it is a box full of wires, but it is in fact a solenoid relocation kit for the worn Xeon on the 130. So that's another day as well. So we'll concentrate on what we're doing. Get this one fitted to 90. Right then, finally got a chance to get it in workshop, so we can get this bumper fitted, get it swapped. So we'll crack on. So for starters, got to take all aircon front off. We're going to leave A-bar fixed to this bumper because we don't need that. Get winch stripped off so we can finally pull the bumper off. We haven't even had a chance yet to get it cleaned up from last Green Lane trip. Good thing about Defenders, they do come apart pretty quick. So just get these tar wraps clipped off here, holding winch wire up. Good old Leatherman always comes in handy. Slide that out, wait. So next thing, we'll start stripping winch off. Take winch out of gear. This is an annoying bit because all rope has to come off. One of these two. Undo little grub screw in there. All that's doing is holding tail end at rope in. That pulls out like that. That rope's off. If I'd got more time, I would unpick this hook and thimble off at end and either fetch replace thimble because they're not expensive. Fetch hook down and paint it, but I've got a new rope, so we're just going to fit that one. So, get these winch cables unbolted off here. It's a good idea to mark these, especially at black ones, so you know there they are. I'll put a tar wrap around this one just so you know, tar wrapped at front. Just makes it a bit easier when it's going back together. Yep. Fiddly. Most winches you see, they always have solenoids in this corner. You got like a box that sits up here where you plug your remote into on top. That's fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but I have moved the solenoids behind wing under here just to keep them a bit dry, a bit out at weather, and I've also routed the switch for winch inside to cubby box, just so when you are winching you can sit in truck, you ain't got cables running across bonnet, etc. getting snagged. I'll leave that one off. So that's them three. Now there's one more, it's a bit fiddly. I think we'll unbolt winch first to get that off. Four bolts underneath. Where's that? Just leave them back there because we'll need them under here later on. Now, because I've been able to move winch, I can get the earth side off a bit easier. So I can reach around here. I say a bit easier. Because it's a 14mm, not a 13mm. So easy as that, winch is out. Pop that down there. So now we can crack on with unbolting bumper. Obviously we've got 4 13mm bolts. Not too precious about bolts because I think this bumper comes with new ones, but we do keep them on stock if not anyway. Get that one with the ratchet spring, I think. It's always a good idea to put new bumper bolts in when you're having bumper off. Because they're not expensive, stainless bolts. They look a lot nicer and they'll save you a lot of headaches in future if you ever want to get it off. So they'll go in bin. Now this should take that spacer plate out, pull off just like that. Obviously if you were saving your A-bar, take A-bar off. I'm not putting it back on here, probably just bolt some lamps straight to top of that bumper. Only thing we have got to do is take obviously number plate and fair lead off. Got a bung missing there as well. So if you are doing this and it's, you know, it's staying on and you've no idea taking it off again, then it's always a good idea to clean ends at chassis up and probably spray a bit of wax oil or some grease in there, something like that. I know I'm going to have this bumper off again, so I'm not going to be bothering with any of that at the minute. So I've just got to take these eyes off now. Yep, 17. You try and get all your spanners together before you start, but you never get them all. So some bumpers, like what I've had on, they don't bolt on down there, they don't interfere with any of this, so you can leave them on as normal. These D44 bumpers, there is actually a plate that comes down here that you can drill if you want and put extra bolting through there. But this 90, it's not particularly heavy, so we don't need to do any extra bolting, just factory bolts are good enough. If it was a really heavy 110 or like R130 or something like that, then yeah, we'd put extra bolts to it, but for this, I don't think we need it. So make sure I've got everything out, wait. Ready for a new bumper to go on. So yeah, Devon 4x4 supply their bumpers with new bolts, which is nice. So I'll put one over it. We use factory nut plates because they're still in good condition, and like I say, I know it's going to be coming off again in the near future, so I'm not bothered doing it with them. So it's a good idea to get somebody to, you know, help you lift these on. But everybody else has gone home, so I'm here doing this pretty much on my own. So we'll fish them wires out, right? Sit that on there like that. So Defenders, there's never two built same, they're all slightly different. Some just drop on like that, others you really have to wrangle with them a bit. So just, if you are swapping one, you know, don't be trying to get a good old punching on. Drop them through there. So they all drop through now. I've just got to get nut plates on bottom. Can be extremely fiddly to get them on, so I'm going to speed this up a bit. So I think all them four have started now. So when you get it into right place-ish, before you nip them up, sometimes they can be a bit low. So I always like to hold them square up to the chassis. Just get one nipped up. Grab a spanner. Oh. Oh, it's warm, isn't it? It's warm today. It's warm. Right. So we've got it to that stage. Now, if you put in a Devon 4x4 steering guard on or something like that to go with it, it's probably a good idea to do it now, but we're not, so we can crack on with getting winch and other bits and bobs. Always remember, fair lead on first. You only make that mistake once, get everything built back up, and then you can't get nuts at back. I know you shouldn't be using a chrome socket on an impact gun, but you can't get an impact socket in it, walls are too thin, so we'll just have to forget about mechanical sympathy for a bit. Get that on. So now, yeah, I think we can I think we get front end back on. We'll get front end back on. Steve's struggling back now, winch with it. Might have to take grill off actually. I've got it wedged. There it is. One thing with a Defender, you don't have to be shy when you're putting things back together or taking them to pieces. If this were a customer's vehicle, all these would be going back in stainless. But as I say, we're having this one to bits again in the near future, so we'll do all them bits second time around. Got plenty of room for cables to come through there. That's as earth. So if you're taking a winch off, always remember you've got these little knots in here. So when you're taking them off, make sure they don't drop out. So we've used Devon 4x4 stuff for years. They've been around forever. They're a company that they not only sell stuff, they use what they sell kind of thing. So that's why it ends up being so good really. So everything's well made, everything's UK made in house with them. They can supply everything. So if you want anything off-road parts, stuff like that, they're the boys. Really nice people to deal with. You're not go wrong with Devon 4x4. $16 for them. Simplest of jobs, you always end up with half a toolbox there. It's just the way it is. Right, we'll connect his winch back up. I might end up rerouting wires a little bit actually. Again, this is a bit we might have to fast forward through. Right. After a bit of faff, earth wires on at bottom. So now we can put these on. Put power feed back on. Right, so winch is back on, everything's tight, everything's bolted up. Really just got to put new rope on now. So we'll just spin winch up, put it back in gear, spin winch up, make sure it's everything's live and working. Yeah, that's all good. Front end, I'm sure it'll be in here somewhere. Alright, so we've got a loop with this one, so all I'm going to do is cut that off, so you've got a nice end to fix through. Doesn't really matter how it ends fastened on because it does nothing. Generally with winches, when you got all your rope out, you don't go less than half a drum because that's what's holding your rope to winch. It's not that end, all that's doing is securing it. So we'll get a blade, get that cut off and get it fed through. Good sharp Stanley knife should get through it, but it is tough stuff, this. Again, this is another fiddly job, so we might have to speed up through this one. So that's about where I like to be. Not that you're ever really going to be winching that far out, but some people say you want more on, some people say you want less, like 4 wraps, but I like about halfway. That's solid enough. But like I say, you're very rarely going to be winching out that far anyway. So we're going to get Laura to sit in truck and work winch. So we've got Laura sat inside truck. She's on winch remote. We can shut bonnet because we've done in there now. As you can see us now. So right, winch in. So that's about that. Don't worry about rope not being too neat first time round, but as soon as you've used it once, it's going to look a mess anyway. But it's always a good idea to keep taking it off now and again and squaring it up, because you don't want it to get pinched or anything like that. Obviously keep your hands as far away from fair lead as possible when you're winching in, and it's always a good idea to wear gloves. But you just have to use your head a little bit and be careful. So right, one last job. We've got to tie wrap earth cable back up, and then I think we're about there. A couple of tie wraps. Good old tie wraps. Don't need to be too picky with the earth side. Obviously you don't want it chafing through, and it's got to be all secure, but it's the power side obviously that needs to be well insulated and well lagged out that way. So that's about that. Now winches, they're notorious for rusting. They sat there in all weathers, they just corrode. So when I'm cleaning truck, as I say, truck's still mucky from when we were laning last. So when we clean everything, I just get a good coating WD-40. Obviously not rope, but helps keep water out of everything, and it stops them corroding. Quick wipe up, just so it matches in with new bumper and rope. Really, it's a crying shame to fit a new bumper and have a dirty, horrible grim winch. I'll just get it clean up. We'll post some pictures on our social media when truck's all nice and clean and shiny with new bumper on. So obviously I've got to put the number plate back on. Now, shift these out of the way. Obviously number plate's got to go somewhere, but I'm not putting it back on for now. Because I don't know whether to put it back where it were or put it back up on roll cage somewhere a bit higher, something like that. But we'll figure that out at a later date. But yeah, obviously as you can see, well made, good fitting product from Devon 4x4. And outside that old bumper, you know, it rarely matches in with truck better. With having cage, it's got a lot better approach angle, a lot more clearance at front. Devon 4x4 also do a steering guard that bolts straight to this. You can use any aluminium steering guard, but Devon do a nice one that bolt into this. Might fit one of them at a later date, not sure. But yeah, we're about ready to roll now. We're going to Billing next weekend, Land Rover show. So I think we're going to do off-road course. No, it's this weekend actually, isn't it? Yeah, this coming weekend. So we're going to get around off-road course, so hopefully we'll get some pictures and videos to post. Thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.